Hello, my dear students. Today we are going to start a new lesson, the lesson 2 after 20 years. This is the module 1 of that lesson. Let's continue. Now, first let's know more about the author of this chapter. He is O. Henry. He is a very famous writer. His real name is William Sidney Porter. O. Henry is his pen name actually, and he is best known for his short stories, which are famous for their wit, wordplay, realistic characterization, and twist endings. Some of his famous short stories are The Ransom of Red Chief, The Cope and the Anthem, The Duplicity of Hargraves, and The Gift of Maggie. This story is about two friends, Bob and Jimmy, who had promised to meet 20 years later at a particular time and place. The twist at the end of the tale reveals how each friend lived up to the promise. So it's a very interesting story. It's a story about friendship. You all have very good friends, and rethink about your friendship after this story. Now here is a warm-up for you. Here are some of the popular friendships in literature and cinema. We have seen many films and cartoons, and that in most of the cartoons they have a close friend, like in Tom Sawyer. Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn are close friends. It is from the story Adventures of Huckleberry Finn by Mark Twain, and Calvin and Hobbes by Bill Watterson, Swami and His Friends from Swami and Friends by R.K. Narayan, Harry, Ron and Hermione from Harry Potter series by J.K. Rowling, and nowadays in almost all the children know the friendship of Dora and Boogie, isn't it? Yeah, this kind of friendship is entertained in the story. Friends are an essential part of our lives. True friends stand by us through thick and thin. Thick and thin means in our difficult times as well as in our happy times. They stand together with us. Now, let me ask you, do you remember the first friend you ever made? Are you still in touch with them? Now, have you grown up together? Has your friend changed? Has your friend changed his behavior, or has your friend got another friend now? Or do you have another friend other than him now? Has your idea of a good friend changed over time? See, when you were a small boy or small girl, you will have an idea of friendship. This kind of girl should be my friend. This kind of boy should be my friend. And when you have grown up, did it change? Means your idea of friendship changed. Okay, let's discuss that. Now let's continue. The policeman on the beat twirled his club as he walked along the street. With his stalwart form and slight swagger, he often stopped to check if the doors were properly locked as he kept a watchful eye on the peaceful road. There were few people on the road, though it was barely 10 o'clock at night. The area was one that kept early hours, though now and then you might see the lights of a store. Most of the doors were closed. Midway of a block, the policeman suddenly slowed down. He saw a man leaning against the doorway of a darkened hardware store. As the policeman walked up to him, the man spoke up quickly. Now, a policeman is taking a round in the streets at night. Though it was only 10 o'clock at night, there were very few people in the street, and almost all the shops were closed. And the policeman, he saw one man standing, leaning onto a hardware store. He saw a man standing up. Now, there are a few difficult words in this passage, in this paragraph. Beat means the path that the policeman follows while on duty, his path. Stalwart, strong and sturdy appearance. He was very strong and sturdy. Swagger means to walk very confidently. The policeman was walking very confidently with his strong and sturdy figure. And at that time he witnessed one. He saw one man standing leaning against a hardware store. It's all right, officer, he said. I'm just waiting for a friend. It's an appointment made 20 years ago. Sounds a little funny to you, doesn't it? Well, I'll explain if you'd like me to. 20 years ago, there used to be a restaurant where the store stands now, Big Joe Brady's restaurant. It was torn down 5 years ago, said the policeman. The man shifted and a dim light from a neighboring store showed a pale, square jaw faced with keen eyes and a little white scar near his right brow. His cuff pin was an oddly set large diamond. See, so this man started talking to the police. He was telling, I'm not any thief or something. I'm waiting for my friend. It was an appointment made 20 years ago. And he only started saying, doesn't it sound funny? But that's a story of a friendship, he said. And he said, we made the appointment here in front of this shop. This was Big Joe Brady's restaurant. It was a restaurant 20 years before. So the policeman told that it was torn down 5 years ago. It was demolished. If it was shut down 5 years ago, the policeman told. And the man he moved a bit, so his appearance was clear to the police now. See, the our author has described him, the man. In this way, you should learn to describe a character or figure. See, he has told that he had a pale, square jaw-faced face with keen eyes, and that he has described his physical appearance, and he has also described his way of dressing. His scarf pin was an oddly set large diamond. It was as a scarf pin he used a diamond. It was not actually fitting. Actually, it was not looking very good on that, but there was a diamond on the scarf as a scarf pin. 20 years ago tonight, said the man, I dined here at Big Joe Brady's with Jimmy Wells, my best friend and the finest chap in the world. He and I were raised here in New York just like two brothers. I was 18 and Jimmy was 20. The next morning I was going off to the West to make my fortune. You could not have dragged Jimmy out of New York, he thought. It was the only place on earth. Well, we agreed that night that we would meet here exactly 20 years from the date and time, no matter what our conditions might be or from what distance we might have to come. We thought that in 20 years, each of us would have our lives worked out and our fortunes made, whatever they were going to be. So, this man is talking about his life 20 years before. He had got a best friend named Jimmy Wells, and he said to the police that he was the best chap in the world. Chap means the best man or boy in the world. And they were brought up together just like two brothers. And Jimmy, he loved New York, and he was not willing to go anywhere other than New York. He loved New York. He considered it as the only place on the earth. And that day they were going to be separated. Maybe this speaker was going somewhere else, but Jimmy was staying in the same place. So they promised that day that after 20 years they'll come and meet in the same place. Wherever they are, they'll come, and how long they have traveled, whatever their life conditions be, they'll be meeting here. And he told by that time we would have worked out our future, means we would have accomplished something in life, whether it be good or bad. We are going to meet here, and we have whatever our life conditions be, we are going to share it at this night, this time and date. They had set the time and date. So that's all for today. These are the new words we learned here. The first one is twirled, which means spin quickly and lightly around. Torn down, it's a past tense of tear down, means demolish, stopped, or closed down. That's it. And chap means a man or boy. Worked out, it's a past tense of workout, means we have a specified result. Okay, that's a new word here. That's a new words we learned today. And now we have a few questions. Was the man standing in front of Big Joe Brady's restaurant? Do you think the man could see the policeman clearly? How do you think the man feels towards Jimmy Wells? Now try answering these questions. Now we have the writing section. This is not from this lesson. It is from the first chapter, Living Dreams. But we haven't done this. So it is an email writing. Here are some points to keep in mind while writing an email. Write a short and meaningful subject line. There should be a subject for that. Avoid difficult fonts and do not use capital letters for the whole message. See, calligraphy kind of fonts should not be used in email. Simple fonts should be used. Font means the way of the letters. And you should not use capital letters in the whole message. Align it to the left and stick to a simple format. It should always begin from the left side. It should be aligned to the left and it should have a simple format. It should not be complicated. One here, one there. It should not be like that. Sign off appropriately. Sign off means you should say love, regards, sincerely yours, yours lovingly, with love, and that you should sign off according to the person whom you are writing to. If it is your father or something, you should write with love or something like that. If it is a business mail, you should write sincerely or faithfully, such things. If it is a formal mail. Now, you should follow the rules of grammar and punctuation. You should start a sentence with capital letters, use commas and full stops wherever necessary. You should follow all these things when you're writing an email. These are the main points. Now, this is a sample for a mail. See, here it is two addresses there. Two address should always be like this. In the name, you should have the email address here. Okay, and then CC, that's not enough when you're that's not needed when you're writing a personal letter. It's if you want to send a copy to someone, you have to give it here, CC, to all whomever you have to send a copy. This is carbon copy, that is CC. Now this is the from, that is yours. This will come automatically in your system, in your computer. And this is important, subject. Whenever you're writing an email, always there should be a subject. Here, this is the salutation. It depends on whom you're writing to. If you're writing to your friend, you should write Dear Anna. If you're writing to your teachers or something, you should write Dear Ma'am or something like that. You know all these things. Now, this is the body of the letter. What you have to include in the letter should be here. And this is the signing off. Warm regards. This is a sample of a business letter. That's why a formal letter. That's why it is written warm regards. If it is your friend, you can write with love, lovely, truly yours, like that. You can write whatever appropriate signing off should be there. And now your TML is write an email to a friend on what you want to be when you grow up and how you will make your dream come true. This is your TML for today. Write down in your notebook and send it to me. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye. Take care.